Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center, man. So as you can see by the title, we're going to be breaking down what makes Justin Jefferson so great. So I was looking at the interview, and while I was watching the interview, and I forgot exactly who was asking this question, but they was talking about the year that Sam Darnold had this past season and how good of a year kind of a bounce back year he's had since he's been in the National Football League. And they was like, well, it's easy to have a good year when you throw in a Justin Jefferson. So I was like, man, let me go and study film on Justin Jefferson as well as a lot of other dominant receivers to figure out exactly what makes these guys such deadly weapons for a quarterback and for an offense. One of the first things that I did come up with, though, is the fact that when you have a guy like Justin Jefferson, receivers that's that good, the attention that they draw, right? So think about gotta have it situations. Think about those third down situations. Think about, those second and long situations. Think about those potential fourth down situations where we have to get a first down. Most defensive coordinators, if I was one, we're going to put extra attention on Justin Jefferson because we know that's who they want to get the ball to is their playmaker, which is him. So in those situations, most coaches are probably going to try to send a double team Justin Jefferson's way, whether it's from the outside or whether it's from the slot. They're probably going to try to play a high-low bracket on him to minimize his effectiveness. Now, what this does is, especially if you're sending blitzes, is leaving other guys in one-on-one matchups. Now, so those guys got the opportunity to get their shine on now because so much attention is going on Justin Jefferson. So that's one of the things that I kind of came up with. And another thing, too, like look at this play right here. He does a very good job in terms of manipulating his body movement. So it's almost like if you're familiar with boxing, think about when you have boxers that utilize they utilize feints, to kind of get you guessing exactly what they're gonna do. And normally those feints are used to set up a shot that you probably don't see coming, which can lead to knockouts. So it's the same thing with wide receivers. For this video specifically with Justin Jefferson, you see how he kind of gives the DB a fake as he's going outside and then releases back inside. And like I say, it's just that hesitation of that fake and him selling it causes the cornerback to kind of get on his toes a little bit, and it allows him to get that cushion to be able to cut inside and get this first down, this play right here. And he does a phenomenal job with yards after the catch, just making the next guy miss and being able to move the sticks for his team. So right here, we got one of my favorite situations. That gotta have it moment that I was just talking about in the previous clip. You got a 3rd and 10 right here. They got to get a first down to move the sticks and try to string together a drive to put up points, whether it be field goal or whether it be a touchdown. And guess what? In those gotta have it moments, who are you going to go to 9 times out of 10? You're going to go to your playmaker. Now, granted, I don't know why anybody would want to play Justin Jefferson 1-on-1 because it looked like they was in a man coverage on that, especially in those gotta have it moments. You kind of probably want to have someone, but granted, like I say, I guess their mentality was we're going to send a blitz at the quarterback to try to make him get rid of the ball in a timely manner. And unfortunately, if the blitz doesn't get there, now you're leaving one of your your defensive backs in a 1-on-1 situation with Justin Jefferson, which not too many guys are going to be able to defend themselves on that. And then not only that, you're looking at the position of where Justin Jefferson was lined up at. He's lined up on the inside, which is giving him a two-way go. Now, granted, if he was lined up on the outside, you have the sideline that you're having to work up against now. But by him being lined on the inside now, it gives him a two-way go. So he's able to go inside, he's able to go outside. So that makes it even more difficult for a cornerback to be able to defend. And it kind of is like he kind of gave him like a Devontae Adams, like kind of hop step, skip step to kind of try to set him up. And then, like I said, once again, the body manipulation, to kind of sell your body, your head and everything and get the corner to think that you're going one way and then immediately bounce it out to the other side. And that was a strong catch, too, going up above over a defender, to be able to make those tough catches. And that's that's another ultimate deciding factor when we talk about elite receivers and what makes these guys elite. I know a lot of it is speed. A lot of times it's good to see. Jumping ability is good to see. Yards after the catch is good to see. But most of the time, the most important thing that a receiver has to do is catch the ball, right? And being able to adjust to catches. Not every catch is going to be a perfect catch that's going to hit you between the numbers. Some plays you're going to have to be able to go off script, come back to the ball, be able to make a play over the defender, just like Justin Jefferson did here. And the guy to have a moment, high pressure situations, and these are things that high level receivers such as himself possess. So on this play right here, you look at Minnesota, like they was in an I formation, and it looks like, Tennessee kind of sent the all-out blitz, and it like they was in the cover zero. For those who may not know, cover zero is no over-the-top help, no over-the-top safety help, and man all across the board, which, what that does is it allows you to send more guys in to put pressure on the quarterback. So it looks like to me what I see that this team specifically, and even in the last clip, was doing to try to minimize Justin Jefferson, was saying, well, you know what? We know that we can't cover him one-on-one. So our best bet is to try to get to the quarterback in a timely manner to make him get the ball out of his hands, which could be good in theory. Now, the thing is, what happens if it doesn't work? Now, once again, just like the previous play, you have Justin Jefferson matched up one-on-one on the outside with your corner, and there's not too many corners who can stay step for step with him in terms of one-on-one coverage. And he, shows his deep playability on this play right here, being able to, catch the ball deep, and then yards after the catch, being able to take it in for a touchdown, on top of making two guys miss, make two NFL players collide and look as if they just, you know what I mean? Well, he didn't make them collide. He just made the first guy kind of dove at him, and the second guy kind of probably over pursued, and he just cut back and just, kind of left him in the dust. So like I say, those are things that makes him elite, being able to catch underneath, elite receivers. I feel like him and a lot of other guys, they can pretty much run every route there is on the route tree. They're not limited to one style of play. He's not necessarily just lightning fast, but he's quick, he's agile. And I feel like he has a pretty good IQ of the game, understanding coverages, how to manipulate coverages, and then just being able to, utilize his body in ways to manipulate defenders, especially in those one-on-one situations like this. And then having a guy that can always get yards after the catch, you know what I mean? Those can be deciding factors in games won and lost, man. So another factor that makes elite receivers is toughness, being able to take hits, to be able to make catches and know that if I make this catch, regardless for the most part, a lot of times, whether I make this catch, whether I don't, I'm going to take the hit. But being able to know that, okay, when I make this catch, a hit is coming. So let me catch, embrace, and make that play. And like I said, these are things like this are the things that's defined in games won and lost. Like prime example, I don't know if you guys remember, depending on how much of a football historian you are. It was a game where Terrell Owens was playing for the 49ers, and it was a crucial play that needed to be made. And I think T.O. was kind of having an off day that day, maybe, dropping passes, getting frustrated, et cetera, et cetera. But when he was needed the most, when it was a gotta have it situation, they threw a touchdown pass to him in the end zone, and he got nailed as he caught that ball, still made the catch, and got the touchdown. I think they eventually ended up winning the game, if I'm not mistaken. But those are factors that are key into making an elite receiver. And as you see right here, Justin Jefferson is able to do that as well, because you want your receivers to be able to, you want to be able to count on your top targets in those gotta have it situations, which this necessarily wasn't that, because they still had a down after that. Granted, you probably wanted to move the ball because you don't want to put yourself in third and long situations. It's kind of hard to make those to make those third down conversions when it's a third and long situation. But you get the ball to one of your playmakers, he makes a good catch, probably ran a phenomenal route, and take the hit and still is able to secure the catch and move the sticks. This play right here is another embodiment of why Justin Jefferson is so doggone good. So once again, you have a 3rd and 2 situation, gotta have it. We gotta move the sticks. We gotta try to put some points on the board, whether it's a field goal or whether it's a touchdown. Once again, similar to the previous one of the previous plays, Tennessee looks like they're in the cover one, which would be a man coverage, man all across the board. I got this man. This is my man. Safety over the top, and you might have had a guy underneath to probably act as a robber to be able to try to cut off anything coming across the middle of the field. But you look at on one side, you have a cornerback who's playing far off on his receiver, and then you got a guy that's up front on JJ that's playing more of a press thing. Now, here's one of the things too, that as a corner playing against, if you're going to play press, this is just my honest opinion. If you're going to be up that close and if you're going to play press, you cannot give Justin Jefferson a free release. And that's exactly what he does. Justin Jefferson gets a free. He really beats him off of the release alone. But what does that happen? What does that do? It doesn't slow him down. So here's the thing with that. Even let's just say hypothetically speaking, if I'm not able to really jam Justin Jefferson up, the whole objective is to try to slow down the timing of the route. So if I can just slow him down a few seconds from my jam, possibly if I have a good enough pass rush, we're able to get to the quarterback, to either get to the quarterback before he can throw it and create a turnover, or either sack him and he just don't have a chance to throw it if he's not that big of a risk taker. But the thing is, when you have a receiver that's as good as Justin Jefferson, you can have one of those, forget it, he down there somewhere moments where you just throw the ball up and you pretty much trust that he's going to come down with it 9 times out of 10. And even when you look at the look with the single high safety, so the safety has to stay over the top of everything because his goal is to not give up anything over the top, anything deep. So he has to stay over the top of everything. So when you think about it, in a lot of situations, it's kind of difficult for him to be able to close the gap, in a certain time, in a timely manner. Unless he's just a dog. Like you got guys like Earl Thomas and guys like Ed Reed who was able to do great things with operating from a single high, but everybody's not that physically gifted and everybody's not willing to spend the time necessary to study film to be able to, dominate at that position. And it's almost one of those things too where the situation, even if you're a corner, right? One of the things about a corner, you have to use the sideline as a help defender because he's not going to run anything breaking outside because he has that sideline to work with. And a lot of quarterbacks can't make those throws accurately, throwing them, going towards the sideline. So, you got that. So at the end of the day, that 9 times out of 10, if it's going to be a post route, my safety is probably going to be over the top of that. So, at the end of the day, it comes down to a 50-50 ball, but, not getting physical at the point of attack with him, giving him a free release like that, you don't really put yourself in the best possible position. I like that he kind of got his head around to a degree, but like I said, with Justin Jefferson, man, a guy who can go up and make those tough catches, it's going to be really hard to try to cover that guy one-on-one. So that's one of the things. It's a multitude of things that makes this guy so great. I plan on doing more lengthier videos about, guys like him, CD, the guys that's, dominating in the league now, and even doing guys that's dominated in the past, and not just with, NFL, with college. You guys see, if you watch my videos regularly, you see that I have a lot of videos out here that's like this, man. So, but, man, if you did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, man, if it's something that I might have forget or I might didn't cover, let me know in the comments about Justin Jefferson. If it's something that we overlooking, or if it's an aspect of his game that you like, that I hadn't had a chance to really kind of pay attention to or look at, man, make sure you comment that down below there where I can say, okay, this is what he said. So now let me go break down some more film, and now let me look at this and be like, okay, man, he went lying. This is another thing that makes this guy so great. But it's a multitude of things, man. But breaking down film, I try to pinpoint it and put it out there in front of you guys to kind of show you what it is that makes him so effective and what a receiver like him does for a quarterback and for an offense. But like I said, man, if you enjoyed this video, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. When you subscribe, click that notification bell where you be notified every time I upload. And I'll see y'all in the next video.